So this video, if you kind of saw in my, I guess, comments on, I think it's the last video or the video before that, but I said I was gonna start a new series next week called Story Time. Um, I had some time now, so I'm just gonna start a series now. You know, it doesn't really matter when I started, but I just thought I had some free time today, so I'll just do our very first. I don't know if this is gonna be like a weekly series. I doubt it's gonna be weekly because there's not like a million stories I could possibly tell, and it's obviously gonna be aquarium related. But but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely gonna keep doing them because I have a lot of ideas or stories I want to tell. But I'm just gonna kind of split them up. Like there's a couple stories I want to say today, but I'm gonna keep another one for another video just so we have multiple ones to come. But just did a water change of the tank. This tank's looking, pretty good. The light's pretty bright, so but the 20 on I just changed this one so it is cloudy and I added some aqua clear to it, so yeah, it's not very clear right now, but it's doing pretty good. I did some stuff to it. But let's get into the story time. So I want to talk about something that um, a lot of people probably find really funny and interesting, especially with a lot of aquarium YouTubers, is our first tanks ever. And sadly, I never had pictures or even a video um, on it, but it's whatever. But it wasn't a very good aquarium anyways. But I went to Walmart one day and basically we went in the fish section and I basically was looking at the tanks because I kind of was wanting a tank. Well, at least thinking about getting a tank for a while, and I saw this little half-gallon tank. And if you've been to Walmart and looked at their tanks, you'll definitely know the tank I'm talking about. It's only like a half gallon. It has a little black stand and a black hood, and it's just like a little rectangle tank. It's plastic, and I've seen other people on YouTube have it too. Obviously not a very good tank. It comes with legitly just a plastic little half-gallon thing and a stand and a hood. That's all it really has. And so obviously there wasn't no filtration, no heater. So I added what I add. I think the very first time, because I don't think I've ever bought gravel for it. I got rocks from outside and put it in there. Because we have like rocks around all of our trees and stuff. So I just digged out some rocks and threw it in there. And yeah, that's basically how it's set up, just rocks and that. And obviously as dumb as I was, um, obviously you can do this if it was like if you do it a certain way, but I basically got sticks from outside and like tore it into pieces and was like had a little hearts get going with sticks in that tank. Some pretty bad ideas, but end up just making a mess anyways. But so obviously, as you could tell, the tank was pretty ugly. So just plain old rocks from outside. Basically, the everything in the tank was from outside except for the fish. And the good thing is, I at least knew how to water. I knew I needed to do water changes, and I had some prime to condition the water, and so I at least knew that much, I guess you could say. And the thing is, this wasn't really my first aquarium. But it was kind of like my first personal one because we've always had kind of a couple fish tanks here and here throughout my life. I remember having one back in the day where we had a dragonfish and it was weird. But I just remember get so much algae you couldn't even see through the tank. That's all I remember. I think it was like a 20 gallon, but it was like when I was really little. Um, if I can look up this tank here, it was actually just a really cheap tank. It was like $5. Yeah, $5 right here. So some of you might recognize this now off the. Yeah, so this basically is what the aquarium was, like $4.97, and get yourself an aquarium. Yeah, so you can obviously tell I just had rocks from outside, then I had some sticks sticking out of it, but And actually, here's a preview right now. That's actually the next tank I upgraded to. But yeah, the tank wasn't very good. I ended up buying an air stone and actually drilled a hole through the lid and put an air stone in. So I was getting a little bit smart. Over time, I got smarter what I was doing. So I was drilling holes. I basically used the air stone. Changed out half the water every week. So I mean, I was decent. I wasn't the worst beginner ever. I at least did a lot of research before I did it. And I always knew that the tank was way too small. That's the thing. I guess that's the good thing. But my fish choice wasn't always the best. Um, at least in this tank, it wasn't that bad, but still, it was still too small. But my first fish was a beta, like anybody's would. Um, it was a blue beta. I forget what it was. Maybe a half. No, it wasn't a half moon. It was one of those. It was almost those koi betas. I actually don't know. It didn't have very large fins, so that's why it's not a half moon. But it just kind of had really short fins. Not much. Well, it was like half and half. I don't know what it was. It was a weird type, but it had a really cool color, and that's why I picked it. It had this like color that I've never seen before. It looked so cool. It was like this purple, light blue with a little bit of dark blue. It's just I don't know. It had a really cool color, and I just had to have it. It was kind of like the beta I had in this 40 gallon, but with its fins longer. Oh, it was like the best looking beta I've ever seen. And surprisingly, that beta eventually got upgraded to another tank, which I'll talk about in another story time. Um, but yeah, I ended up getting upgraded to 1 gallon, and which is the tank I actually showed you right there. But I'll save another story time for that tank because there's actually another fish that got put in there that was you guys are gonna laugh at the next one. This is when I got pretty retarded. But yeah, I kept that beta and I eventually upgraded to that. I thought I was getting, upgrades because this time I got a $20 tank. So, which was kind of funny because at the time I probably could have got a 5 gallon for, just that. I mean, I still would have bought a filter, but at the same time, for not much more, I probably could have got a way nicer tank. But honestly, I just wanted something on my desk, so that's why I kind of limited options. Um, So we got upgraded to that. It actually had a little bit better home. It still wasn't the. I actually had gravel for that tank, but it still wasn't the best. Actually, no. I actually didn't buy gravel for that tank. It was actually the same old rocks, which was probably another smart idea because it probably had beneficial bacteria. Um, but off to that tank, the beta ended up living for 2.5 years. So surprisingly, it lived for a long, long time. Um, I I forget what it died. I think now I know. It died because of I basically kept obviously the tank wasn't heated, so room temperature, but for some reason the water just started dropping and dropping in temperature, and I never noticed it, and I was wondering why the tank got so cold. So I would dump hot water in it. Yeah, this is where it gets bad. And yeah, I wasn't that smart and did that, and eventually it just died. But surprisingly, it lived for almost 3 years, so it was pretty successful, if you ask me, for my first fish, But probably not the worst story. I've seen worse tanks. I mean, I think anything could be worse. There's some people that put Oscars in a 2 gallon, and there's worse stuff out there. But at least I did a little bit knew what I was doing when I was first starting out. I mean, but obviously everybody's first aquarium is always pretty embarrassing. Most people always have that multicolored plants, and actually my 10 gallon, um, which will definitely be a story time because that was one of the main tanks that started this channel. It only had actually I'd recommend going all the way back into my channel, look at the first videos, and you'll see that 10 gallon. It had like a good 4 or 5 videos on it. Obviously I didn't talk, but I had some videos on it, not a lot. But you can actually see that tank, and I had African cichlids, and I'll share that another time. But that's actually one of the aquariums that actually was on the channel, or at least videoed, that you got to see. But yeah, my first aquarium, pretty embarrassing. And, as half a gallon, that's so small. Like legit, I could for a water change, all I had to do is fill up a cup. I mean, Like if I just took, let's see here, like all I had to do is take a cup like this and fill it up all the way, and that would already be a 50% water change. So it was not big at all. So yeah, it was pretty. I wish I had pictures because it's so funny. It's just like no light, no heater, no filters, just pretty abusive tank. At least the next one was a little bit better, but it wasn't really. I didn't get knowledge until I got my 10-gallon. Then I really started to figure out things. I actually realized I needed to start gravel vacuuming. I need a heater. I need a filter. I need to change out the filter. I started getting a little bit smart. And then obviously when I got into these tanks, now I'm as advanced as I can possibly be right now. You know, but yeah, I mean, if you guys down in the comments below, tell me what your first tank was. Tell me your first fish. Tell me your tank size. Um, and if you want to add a little story to it, something funny, you could definitely put that down below. I'd like to hear that. Some of your guys's, especially these bigger channels, I really like to see what your guys' first tank was, because some of them are pretty funny. It's always fun to look back at this stuff. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.